What single human has done the most damage to the progression of humanity in the history of mankind? Thomas Midgley Jr. He played a major role in development of tetraethyl lead, leaded gasoline, which went into mass production throughout the 1920s. This invention meant that the blood lead content in developing children rose, causing numerous problems, including cognitive issues and physical growth. It was also noticed that the rise in blood lead content matched with violence in adolescents in multiple countries. Midgley is also accountable for the discovery of chlorofluorocarbons, CFC, specifically freon, which as many know had a drastic impact on the ozone. As of October 2020, the ozone hole above Antarctica sits approximately 23 million square kilometers (8.9 million miles). Although these two inventions seem insignificant compared to more drastic actions taken by other single humans, it's the widespread impacts that his inventions had and are still being felt today. Even though both, leaded gasoline and CFCs, have been banned. P.S. The last invention made by Midgley actually killed him. It was to help him maneuver and get out of bed with the use of ropes and pulleys due to him contracting polio, but he got stuck and eventually his invention strangled himself. Edit. This reply doesn't quite fit the post, but I felt that he had a large impact on society during the 20th century. Trofim Lysenko. A Soviet biologist who thought Gregor Mendel was a reactionary whose thoughts had no place in the Soviet Union. He tried to reinvent agricultural practices to maximize productivity, having farmers put seeds very close together under his belief that plants who belong to the same class will not compete for nutrients. He was given the Order of Lenin 8 times for his pseudoscience, while his theories contributed to the deaths of millions through famines that plagued the USSR. Later he was finally discredited after Stalin's death, but then Mao Zedong adopted his practices, which helped cause the Great Chinese Famine. Guy de Sholiak. He was a surgeon in the 1300s who vehemently spoke out against another fellow surgeon, Theodoric Borgnoni. Theodoric was a surgeon who wrote about his theories on proper wound care and believed that the best thing you can do to a wound is wrap it and keep it clean. Guy hated what Theodoric was writing because it directly went against the teachings of Galen, an ancient Greek surgeon who believed pus was the body's way of balancing your humors. Guy's teachings were widely accepted, and it's believed that his ignorance set the development of antisepsis in surgery back about 600 years. Edit. Guy de Sholiak was born in the 1300s, not 1200s, as he was alive during the Black Death. Ignaz Semmelweis was the guy who was thrown into a mental asylum for saying surgeons should wash their hands between seeing patients. IIRC. There was also a French physician who discovered some valuable kinds of anesthesics but was ignored by the medical community because he couldn't write in Latin. Edit. His name was Ambroise Paré. From Wikipedia, Paré discovered that the soldiers treated with the boiling oil were in agony, whereas the ones treated with the ointment had recovered because of the antiseptic properties of turpentine. This proved this method's efficacy, and he avoided cauterization thereafter. However, treatments such as this were not widely used until many years later. He published his first book, The Method of Curing Wounds Caused by Arquebus and Firearms, in 1545. Injured soldiers continued to be treated with boiling oil for many years because Paré's discovery was snubbed. Thomas Midgley Jr. In 1921, this guy that discovered that tetraethyl lead could be used as an anti-knocking fuel additive for cars. It satisfied the needs of oil companies at the time, because it worked, was cheap, and was patentable, for that purpose. But it was also incredibly toxic, and burning leaded gasoline was hugely pollutive. Eventually, after the creation of the EPA and an oil crisis in the mid-70s, leaded gas was banned in 1996, but the damage was done. Interestingly, the guy didn't even show up for the occasion when the first customer filled up their car with leaded gas, because he was at home, sick with lead poisoning. I think Futurama aged better than The Simpsons have. They explored some pretty gnarly concepts in some episodes, but were as comedically on point as much if not more so than The Simpsons. I mean, just think about the time paradoxes they dealt with in Futurama. Fry is his own grandfather. Bender's Game. The episode where they travel forward in time to witness the end of the universe and then watch it restart again. Those are some heady concepts, but this is also the same series that came up with Death by SNOO. So, yeah. Simpsons may go on forever, but Futurama was and is higher quality in my book. Purportedly, the unnamed inventor of flexible glass, Vitrum Flexile, brought a drinking bowl made of the material before Tiberius Caesar. The bowl was put through a test to break it, but it merely dented, rather than shattering. The inventor repaired the bowl easily with a small hammer, according to Petronius. After the inventor swore that he was the only man alive who knew the manufacturing technique, Tiberius had the man executed. He feared that the glass would devalue gold and silver, since the material might be more valuable. https://n.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/flexible_glass